All right, here they are forming up, and this is, of course, the Supersport 300, and also incorporated in the same race is the 250 production class as well. So two classes inside the same race, and brilliant qualifying from our series points leader, Jacob Stroud, on the Shoesy RC390. He's on pole. Nathaniel Diprose back after injury. He's on second place. Dave Fallows is definitely his best qualifying result to date this year. And a young teenager from Pyro named Blake Ross on a Ninja 300. He's in fourth place. So big drama in qualifying with series points. Second place man and levels round winner Harry Parker. He could only manage 12th place, and guys like Nick Burke who are on the podium as well. He's only in 10th. So here we go. Lights are out and we're away. And a great start from the 70 of Jacob Stroud. He will lead them down into turn one, the Pirelli right-hander on the KTM RC390, and just trying to catch a look at the rest. Everyone got away nice and cleanly there, so a good start to this Supersport 300 race.
Once again, a fantastic start from Jacob. Left them all standing, and I guess into our life, some rain must fall, and a little bit of bad news. Official now that in that previous 600 race, unfortunately, Avalon Biddle has been declared to have jumped the start, and she has received a time penalty. So that's all that hard work for, not for nothing, but certainly not for the reward that she got initially. So commiserations to Av, but sadly that's why we have the rules.
Yeah, she'll be devastated because that was a great race, and Toby got the glory, but yeah, that will drop her back a few positions as well. So they had a decent lead, those two, on the rest of the pack, so hopefully the time penalty won't do too much damage position-wise. Yeah, as we see them head into the double bastard and out of there. Brilliant stuff. All these guys getting out of there and into Highpool. It is still the 70 of Jacob Stroud with that iconic Stroud number 70 on the front of his bike. One of them runs wide there as well, so I think it could have been Dave Fellows on the Yamaha R3 as well. Would try and catch an update into Porsche, and look at that already. It's trying to show them a clean set of heels.
Look at that battle fanning out behind them. 4 or 5 of them going at it, 3 abreast as they head down the short chute down to the Pirelli sweeper at the bottom end of the track. But already, as we've seen right throughout the summer, Jacob's just starting to clear away and make this race his own.
I think it could be the 6 of Nathaniel Diprose in second place on the Gavin Veltmeyer KTM 390 as well. So we'll catch the update as they cross the line, and brilliant stuff. Look at them, 300cc. So the bike in front is a single cylinder 390cc machine. It's the KTM doing the leading at the moment. And then Nathaniel Diprose, Dave Fellows, he's on the Yamaha. That's the 323cc parallel twin machine. So that's the second of the bike. And then Blake Ross in 5th place. He's on the Kawasaki, which is a 296 parallel twin. So 3 different bikes, all with strengths and weaknesses out there, and all great racing in the Supersport 300 class. One of the best racing we've seen at the other 2 rounds. And here we are with another great 6-lapper at Hampton Downs.
And it looked like that maybe Leon Jacobs the best of the 250 production bikes, but we'll check on that for you. Back just outside of the top 10. So 2 classes up for decision here, Supersport 300 and 250 production.
Yeah, great to see Nathaniel Diprose back on track. Had a bit of an off at the round 2 of the Suzuki series and a bit of a shoulder injury, so he is back, and look at that, already trying to reel in that gap. So he's had race wins in the 300 before last year on that same machine he's on now, so awesome to see him back out there as well. And a good little top 10 battle there as they head out of the double bastard and into Highpool, the 70 of Jacob Stroud in there. And what a weekend the Stroud boys have got. It's definitely at least the second or I think it's the 3rd class that Jacob's in, and the Stroud team. Something like 27 races all up that Stroud boys between them are riding at MotoFest, so definitely going to be some busy teams in the Team Lizard Racing. Big thanks to Mick Ruane getting all those boys organised in trackside, and what a legacy Father Andrew's left for them to carry on with the iconic number 70 on the front of not only the 390 he's out there now, but also the Kramer in the Superlight class as well. So Jacob Stroud, definitely one of the hot young talents coming out of New Zealand motorcycling, and brilliant to see him out in front of this one at the moment. But have a look at that number 6 machine of, it's a number 88 machine rather, the Gavin Veltmeyer RC390 of Nathaniel Diprose having a little challenge into turn 1.
Yeah, you mentioned the Stroud family. At one stage there was just Andrew, and then he retired, and then there was Jacob, well now, and then Jesse came along, and now Caleb as well. So we'll have the whole family out there before the year's out, I would think.
There won't be many classes they can't enter in either. There's definitely some great talent there, as we see the 88 of Nathaniel Diprose takes the lead into the Foster's Construction right-hander, and having a look at Dave Fallows up there too, so a full-on three-way battle now, as well as Nathaniel Diprose leads them in the Kev's Carousel. Jacob Stroud still in second place, and then Dave Fallows. This is great stuff from Dave. We haven't seen Dave at the sharp end of the field so far this season, so great to see the likeable man on the Yamaha R3 up there in third place.
So I just wonder what's going through the mind of Jacob Stroud. He's done this before, hasn't he? He sort of toys with them and then comes back, drifts back through the pack and then comes back to the front. It bit him in the you-know-where at the cemetery circuit at Wanganui, but fingers crossed it won't for this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a look at the awesome little three-way fight, and then Blake Ross leads in fourth place, a group at 8 strong, I'd say, going into that little high pull right-hander. So brilliant stuff all over this Super Sport 300 class. And then, yeah, Leon Jacobs and Angus Boyd, they've been fighting it out for the 250 production honours, so that's a great little battle there as well. They're in 15th and 16th place at the moment, so separated by not a lot on the track. So the 250 production boys as well, mixing it up there.
Yeah, as we said, 2 races within one here, scored separately, of course, for the New Zealand Championship, and that's what it's all about for these guys. It's a chance for them to go for the glory. And it's something special, you know. A lot of people write it off and they say, oh yeah, but you know, it didn't mean that much. But to have a New Zealand #1 plate in any class, in any form of motor racing, in any form of sport for that matter, be it the 100 metres, be it the marathon, be it motorcycle racing or car racing, is something you should be very, very proud of, and something that you should wear with pride. We've got one rider down by the look of it in the high pool hairpin. We'll just have a quick look at that. Rider's okay, and the officials are there, so there shouldn't be any problems, shouldn't be any yellow flags or anything. That bike's well off the racing line and sadly not in contention any longer.
Have a look at this three-way battle. It is still Nathaniel Diprose, Jacob Stroud, and then Dave Fallows. They're heading into Swampy's curves at the moment. So that's a great little battle there to keep an eye on. And then we go back to Jesse Stroud, the younger brother of Jacob. He leads the battle in fourth place as well. So a great little battle going on, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th with Reece Lindsay, Blake Ross and Harry Parker in there as well. So keep your eyes on the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. There's 6 of them all screaming into the double bastard at the moment. But it is still this three-way fight, 2 KTMs and a Yamaha heading into high pool, and Nathaniel Diprose still leads over Jacob Stroud, and then Dave Fallows right there. So this is going to go down to the wire. They're going to do the Porsche Dipper and come into the short chute. No change to position as they fire out there into the short chute and head down to turn 10. The awesome Daylight Pirelli sweeper, and as they head up the hill they will have 2 laps to go when they cross the line. So the battle for 4th is the one I'm definitely keen to keep an eye on. There's not much between. You can throw a blanket over that little battle at the moment, and Phil Dark, this is pretty exciting stuff as there's contact made in the sweeper in that battle there. So all on for young and old here.
Yeah, well, we've seen it so many times today at the as the laps wind down, the excitement level comes up, the heart rate starts to peak, and that's what we're seeing here. Well, look at this. I reckon Jacob Stroud's just stalking his prey here. I don't know. I don't want to put the curse on Nate Diprose or Dave Fallows, but Jacob just looks to be just hanging off the back of these guys. And I reckon with 1 lap to go, he might just try and pounce.
Yeah, this is brilliant stuff. They head, they're nearly right in behind each other as they head down the front straight into turn 2. The Foster's Construction right-hander. Look at that, he's right on the back wheel now. So it is Nathaniel Diprose, then Jacob Stroud and Dave Fallows, a full-on 3-way battle heading into Kev's Carousel. So that's definitely not decided yet. There's still a lot to play for there with a good lap and 3/4 set to fly.
Yeah, anything can happen, as they say in the big shows, and that's what we've got here for the Motor Fest. But I've got to say, I've got to nail my colours to the wall and say my money's on Jacob Stroud. I don't know. We'll see what happens as they come. I think the telling spot, and we'll get a really good look of it, will be when they get down through the double B and out onto the high pool hairpin. These 3 have absolutely cleared out, but it's still Diprose in the front. In fact, it's not. I think Stroud in the front now. Diprose might have gone back into second. No, I might have that wrong. We'll have a look as they come down, because Jacob's got white on his leather. Yeah, it is. It's Stroud in the front. Diprose goes back into second place. We'll get that confirmed for you as they head up over the top, but they're heading down in towards the Pirelli sweeper now, and it will be the white flag this time. Has Phil picked it right this time round? We'll wait and see. They come up the hill now. Will it be the 88 of Nathaniel Diprose on the Gavin Veltmeyer machine? And that bike is a bit of a work of art in itself. Or will it be Jacob Stroud? It is still Diprose. Stroud back in second, so no change.
And just to let you know that the 151.168 is a lap record, so a lap record for Nathaniel Diprose, beating Josh Goddard's lap from last year, a 152.2. So they've taken over a second off the lap record, and this is some hot pace. So the three of them head out of turn one, and there's nothing in it as they fly down the back straight and into Foster's. It is still Nathaniel Diprose, then go back to Jacob Stroud and Dave Fellows. A brilliant three-way battle, but then keep your eyes on this battle for fourth, as you can't even pick it. Blake Ross is there in sixth place. Still Jesse Stroud, the younger brother of Jacob, he's in that mix as well. So brilliant stuff to keep an eye on with half a lap to go, and we'll try and keep up with these guys at the front. They are out there flying. They're in through the double B at the moment, and definitely a couple of different lines. You can see a couple of different machines. You've got the single cylinder KTM, you've also got the parallel twin cylinder machine of Dave Fellows in there as well, so different powers and different ranges of power. So coming out of Highpool, it is still Nathaniel Diprose. He looks like he's just stretched a tiny little advantage, but you can never write off Jacob Stroud, but he's got to be careful because he's got Dave Fellows in third place. There's lap traffic to contend with as well. They seem to negotiate that. Good stuff from that lap rider there. He got right out of the racing line, but it is still Nathaniel Diprose, Jacob Stroud, Dave Fellows in this little battle. They head down into the Pirelli sweeper, and there is nothing in this at the moment.
Jesse Stroud, Reece Lindsay, Nick Burke and Blake Ross just line astern heading down into the sweeper, as you heard Brad say, but at the top of the hill, here comes the race leader. You'll see him very shortly. He'll come out of the kink. Will it be Nate Diprose? He was certainly leading through the sweeper, and there he is. So he's going to win it. The first part of this race, Jacob Stroud across the line in second place, and then we went back to the man in third. Now let's have a quick look back in the 250 production race. Is it? It's not. Dave Fellows through in third, then Harry Parker, Blake Ross, Reece Lindsay, Jesse Stroud ended up shuffling back to seventh place, then Nick Burke and Hayden Lockhart. Best of the 250s, just waiting for them. Should be 15th or 16th place across the line, I would think. And it should be Angus Boyd. Does that gel with your way of thinking, Brad?
Yeah, definitely. And look at that, Leon Jacobs, series leader. He's not a finisher, so that's a big chunk of points there for Angus Boyd. So Leon and Angus, they've been hammer and tongs in this 250 class. And then you see Leon with a non-finish there. So that's blowing the championship wide open as we get a look at the confirmation. Nathaniel Diprose, Jacob Stroud, Dave Fellows for the third. Harry Parker got up to fourth, so with... not a great qualifying. That's good result and good damage control in the championship for Harry Parker. He's second in the championship at the moment. Blake Ross in fifth. Reece Lindsay got the sixth. Jesse Stroud ended up way down in seventh after being fourth for most of that race. But look at that, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh, all separated by less than a tenth of a second as they crossed the line. Nick Burke, he got eighth place. Hayden Lockhart for ninth. Jack Condon, good top 10 for Jack. Tim Gray and Kevin Goddard round out your top 12. So, wow, that was quite exciting, and battles all around the field. So we love 300 racing, and with 28 of them out there, hard to keep up, but it was a brilliant ride from Nathaniel Diprose back from a long-term injury, and great to see him not only back on the racetrack but back in the winner's circle. So Nathaniel Diprose, the Coleman's K Road supported man for Suzuki New Zealand. He is your 300 Supersport Race 1 winner for Moto Fest at Hampton Downs.
Well, it's been a long day here at Hampton Downs, but it's even been a longer day around the Taupo region, because it was the running of the 35th annual New Zealand Ironman. I can tell you the Kiwi Mike Phillips has won in a pretty good time, 8:05. In second place, it is the champion from 2017. That was Braden Curry. No word yet on where the legend Cam Brown finished, but he was looking for his 13th